Seeking English, S.A.T. Workbook, page 366, problem 1. Which of the following values is not a solution of the inequality 8 minus 3x is equal or less than 3 plus x? Looks a little familiar. Yeah, it looks structurally very much like the problem that we just did, or that I just did. I'm wearing the same clothes. You can bet it's fresh in my mind. Okay, so is it in fact the same? Well, no, it has some common elements, and then it has some other things that are different, that if you think they're more different than they really are going to confuse you. What's not different is the answers are in a pretty transparent order if you'll take a second to look at them. We don't have a zero, we don't have any negative numbers, but you can bet somehow the outer answers are going to be the largest and smallest. And this does matter in this kind of problem. Why it matters is this. If you have a more complex inequality, this might not be true, but if you're able to reduce this to where you have just x and some numerical value, then your middle answers are not going to work. Really? Yes. Think about this for a second. And if you need to back up the video and listen to this part again, do it. Okay, do it for me. That if a middle answer is what you're looking for here, then one of the outer answers is also going to be what you're looking for. And that's not possible if the test is correctly designed, because there can only be one correct answer. Okay, think about that. So if the test is broken, don't even bother. Assume the test works. Assume the test is okay. Don't pick a middle answer in this case, because it will be redundant if it works at all. And that means if the test is designed correctly, no, not one of those. Okay, pick one of the outer answers. The extreme answers are what's going to break the inequality. I know I've talked about this a lot, but students have a big problem with this. I've seen many students, very smart students, really not quite grasp this point. I'm going to move on, but don't you move on until you are sure that you understand what I've just told you. Okay. From there, it's similar to the other problem. We want some kind of a positive x on one side and everything else on the other side. Okay? So don't flip signs, or you'll deform the function of the operator. Don't do that. Move your negative x's over to the other side, regardless of which direction you have to go to get to a positive x. Here, the minus 3x, we can add it over here, it becomes plus 4x. Okay? From there, don't worry about the positive or negative here. Just make sure it's correct, but in terms of having the x here and positive, that's what's going to matter in this equation. Make sure that your x is positive. Okay, from there, it becomes 5. And from there, you remember, I'm always talking about these invisible denominators. They're helpful to me. Okay, move the 4 down there. 5 over 4 is equal or less than x. Now, don't forget that we're looking for something that does not work. Okay, that's something that does not work. Okay, it's either going to be the largest or it's going to be the smallest. Okay, between these two, the easier thing to check should be the 2. Okay, it's the simpler expression. So if I wanted to put this in, so 2 over 1, just to check it, okay, becomes what? 8 over 4. And which is larger? The 8 is larger than the 5. Okay, so I'm going to bring that back. So 2 satisfies this. You're looking for something that does not work. So I'm going to go straight to the 8 over 7. By now, you should already be pretty sure that's the correct answer. Okay, but if you think that your algebra teacher or some astral projection of your algebra teacher is behind you, watching you watch this video, okay, we'll go ahead and check. So this should be 35 over 28 and 32 over 28. 28, don't need those 28s, doesn't matter, I'm just giving you 35 is equal or less than 32, not true. So that's what breaks this thing. Okay? And if you're still confused, like I did in the previous video, complementary operator, substitute that, and if it actually works, then that's your solution. Okay? If you're confused by looking for something that doesn't work, okay, look for something that works with the complementary operator. But be sure that you know what you're doing with this. Okay? Don't rush into it. Make sure that you know what you're doing, or don't do it. Okay? Thank you.